Well, we finally score a goal, but it counts for absolutely nothing as Aston Villa were dumped out of the cup against Brentford last night at the GTEC Stadium. That's 2 defeats in the space of 3-4 weeks against the Bees, handing Keith Andrews his second win out of 3. Honestly, just simply not good enough, is it, from Aston Villa again? We was hoping for a better showing, a better performance. Did we get that? Some people will say yes, we did, but you've got to factor in Brentford made 10 changes to their lineup. Okay, Villa made a few changes too. There was no Emi Martinez. Donyell Marlon led the line. However, that team really should have got the better of a much changed Brentford side, and it was the performance wasn't quite there for me. There wasn't much in the way of chances. Villa could have nicked it towards the end. Matty Cash had a chance. Morgan Rogers had a chance as well. Yes, we edged the stats, you have to say. 54% possession. We tend to have most of the ball pretty much every game at the moment, but there's not much coming from it. 12 shots, 6 on target to Brentford's 3 on target. 10 shots in total for them. So yeah, I think Villa did edge it in the 90 minutes, but when it gets to a penalty shootout, I mean, we say it's a lottery. Yes, you can practice penalties, but it doesn't seem like Villa would have been doing that in preparation for this game. It's just not at the top of their priorities, is it? Of course, I think the main thing from yesterday is we just wanted a lift, we wanted a boost, wanted maybe a couple of goals, get us firing again. And we were handed it on a plate, weren't we, with that Harvey Elliott goal. John McGinn doing really well to press, but you've got to say it was a horrendous mistake from the Brentford defender. And the strike from Harvey Elliott wasn't a clean strike at all, was it? Went straight through the keeper's legs. Andre Onana letting that one through his hands. It was absolutely shocking goalkeeping. But listen, it was always going to come that way, wasn't it? Villa needed a goal by any means, and we did get handed one. But like I say, it stands for absolutely nothing in the end, does it? As we were dumped out. Yeah, it's frustrating to get dumped out the cup. Yeah, we all want to see us lift some silverware. It's coming up to 30 years now since we last did. People like myself haven't seen it, unfortunately. But as I mentioned beforehand, guys, the Carabao Cup just isn't a priority for me. I'm not gutted about getting dumped out of the cup itself. I'm more frustrated that we're just not seeing an increase in performance last night. It was an opportunity for us to do that, try something a little bit different. Yes, we did in terms of personnel, but the system was very much the same, wasn't it? And there wasn't really any change there. Like I say, if we were to get through this round of the Cup, we're probably just going to face Crystal Palace in the next round and get knocked out anyway. So that isn't the real factor that I'm annoyed about. The factor I'm annoyed is, of course, the performance. Like I say, it just wasn't quite there. Like as mentioned, a lot of people did say it was a better performance, but when you take into account the 10 Brentford changes, I don't think you can really give Villa too much credit from that last night. And like I say, losing twice to a Brentford side, or failing to beat a Brentford side twice, who are a much changed Brentford side. They've lost their manager, they've lost some of their best players. Yes, we could say we've had a bit of turmoil over the summer, but absolutely nothing to their extent. So it's no excuse for Villa, really, is it? We can't keep banging on about what happened over the summer. We failed to bring in freshness and new faces. Yes, that does seem to be the root cause, but like I say, you look at Brentford, even they've got off to a much stronger start than we are. It's simply not good enough. Villa have more than enough quality on the pitch or available to them to go and get a win in the league. Never mind putting a better showing than they did last night against Brentford. I mean, you can see the importance, like I say, when Emi Martinez is sat at home, you go to a penalty shootout, he's the man you can't help but think of, can you? And it was actually the Brentford goalkeeper that turned into prime penalty shootout Martinez, pulling off 2 really good saves from the spot. McGinn's penalty, not great. I've seen worse penalties hit the back of the net, but it wasn't a brilliant penalty, probably telegraphed it slightly, and the Brentford keeper got down and saved it. Same with Matty Cash's. I think that was a slightly better penalty, but again, keeper got down, another good save. And it was their victory on the night. Marco Bizot never really got near any of the Brentford penalties, did he at all? And as we say, it is a little bit of a lottery, but Martinez was sat at home, and he's the man you need in a situation like that, isn't he? So it just shows whilst Villa did need that confidence boost, it isn't in the list of priorities, is it? If you're leaving your number one goalkeeper sat at home, who probably wasn't even watching the game, and I can't blame him. It wasn't much to get excited about, was it? But I mean, if we look at it, Villa did have the opportunity to go 2-up, didn't they? Jadon Sancho, when he hit the post, the outside of the post, he really should have put that chance away for me. The ball from Evan Gesson found its way to him at the back post, didn't it? I think there was a slight deflection in there, and the ball found its way to Jadon Sancho, and he should really have hit the target. And if he does hit the target, that does find the back of the net, and that puts Villa 2-up. And I've got to say, I do think Villa win the tie from there. What did we make of his performance, Jadon Sancho? It wasn't brilliant, was it? I mean, I'm not going to be pointing the finger at him, and there was moments there when you can see a little bit of magic in terms of footwork, or a nice short pass here and there, but obviously it needs to improve. It's his first game for a while. You're going to give him some slack in a new team. Quite liked the look of him and Maatsen down that left-hand side. That is something I'd like to see more of, definitely. I think they did link up a couple of times, as well as Elliott tucking in. There was an opportunity where Sancho and Elliott linked up really nicely, and it found its way to Pau Torres, and Pau just needed to flick one round the corner to Sancho, but he couldn't do it, could he? So yeah, Sancho. There were some signs of the player we've signed, but again, we've got to see more, and that's not just him. One of the other signings we've got to talk about, Evan Gesson. I was on a live stream whilst the game was on, and there was a lot of flack coming in for Evan Gesson, and I can understand his touch of a trampoline at the moment. It's just not there. He's very raw. Is the word people want to keep using. Of course, I've said he's raw. You can't. I'd like to say you can see the attributes. I'd probably be lying at the moment. I mean, of course, again, you've got to give him time. You've got to give him opportunity. He does like to get his foot in, but everything's very rash. Sometimes takes too long on the ball, and he's not the only one. But we need to see much more from Evan Gesson. But it's going to take time with that. He's definitely going to be a slow burner, isn't he? A lot of people, well, I've had mates messaging me saying, like, have we got the receipt for this guy? I'm not quite there. Obviously, we have to give this guy time. But it's not been a good start to life for him. But coming into a team that's struggling a lot, when you've come from a foreign league, getting up to pace with the Prem, it is going to be difficult, of course. Harvey Elliott got his first start, of course, got his first goal in fortuitous circumstances. It wasn't a clean hit at all. He had time to take a touch, get it onto his strong foot and put it away, which I'd like to have seen him done. But look, he hit the back of the net. I ain't going to complain too much about that. So he's the one I am excited about, but I feel like he does need pace around him. So yeah, it was a quiet night overall for him, and Donyell Marlon was the man to lead the line, wasn't he? And he cut a frustrated figure all night. It's just, I don't think Emery fancies him, does he? I think we were so excited over the summer with his pre-season. He looked really sharp in pre-season. We all want to see him do well. We all want to see him thrive, don't we? Because even when he came on in cameos last season or made that start against Forest, and he scored 3 goals, didn't he, in a similar kind of position from that back post. We're all really excited about him, but Emery just doesn't seem to fancy him. We've seen the rumours that he was willing to listen to offers in the summer, which whether that's true or not, I don't know. I mean, we only brought him in January. To be looking to get rid of him already after 6 months would have been insane, but without really giving him much opportunity. But he just doesn't look happy. I mean, he doesn't look happy. I don't know if it's just his face, but he just always looks moody. He doesn't look happy, and I don't blame him. He's not getting much opportunity, and when he does, he's not taking it. But it's easy to point the finger at Marlon and say, well, you got your opportunity last night. You was poor. You didn't make anything of it. Well, to be honest, it was very much an Ollie Watkins performance that we've been seeing in the start of this season. Just nothing coming to him. He had one opportunity where he took a really nice touch, looked to whip it into the far corner, into the top corner, but it just sailed over the bar. That was unfortunate, but other than that, there wasn't really any opportunities for him. Yes, he definitely needed to do more. He didn't stake a claim to start at the weekend. Ollie Watkins will come back in. That's no surprise at all. I can't help but feel for him slightly. And he was sub for Ollie Watkins, as I say, towards the end of the game, and likewise for him, nothing really came his way. He took a penalty in the shootout, put it away nicely. It was a good penalty actually from Ollie Watkins, and that was one of the positives you have to take. It's a small positive, but Watkins hasn't always looked confident from the spot, but he took that penalty well in the shootout, didn't he? Rogers came on late on too, didn't he? As well as Buendia. Again, a lot with Buendia. You know what you're going to get: a lot of huff and puff, busy, buzzing around the pitch, but failed to make an impact. Rogers had a couple of turns. To be honest, I did, as I said on the live, there was a couple of turns. You thought, yeah, that's the Morgan Rogers we want to see. That getting it and driving towards goal, getting a shot off. Which he did a couple of times, but particularly that one right towards the end of the game, he probably should have taken or got a much sweeter strike off than he did, and that could have nicked the tie, but it wasn't to be. So again, we need to see more from Morgan Rogers. I don't know what's got into him, whether it's just confidence or... But again, it's the unit as a whole. It's hard to point fingers individually, isn't it, as we've said a couple of times already. You know, the system, we've changed personnel, it's just not clicking, is it? And you can see the frustration on Unai Emery as well. Positives though, I thought Ezri Konsa had a brilliant night. He played exceptionally well, didn't he? Defended very, very well. Pau Torres alongside him. His passing just seems to have evaded him. He wasn't really looking for any passes. Defensively fine. I don't think we really defended badly at all. I mean, their strike, of course, we'll talk about that as well. That was a wonder goal, wasn't it, really, Aaron Hickey? I mean, has he even scored another goal for Brentford? I highly doubt it. Will he score one like that again? No, just sums up our look at the minute he finds a strike like that. From the long throw, second ball, Torres heads it away, finds its way to Hickey, and he's in space and just volleys it straight into the back of the net. Really tidy finish from him. The long throw is something that Brentford have utilised a lot over those couple of games, and caused us obviously issue. The goal came from the second ball, but yeah, they're very, very on the long throw-ins, weren't they? And Villa do it as well with Matty Cash, not quite as effectively, but a lot of Premier League sides are using the long throw. It's like going back to Pulis ball of the Stoke City Premier League era, isn't it? It's quite strange to see, isn't it? So. Yeah, I mean, I'm struggling to take too many positives from that, to be honest, guys. Like I say, I was just hoping to see a better performance, a more encouraging display to go and give us that spark, bit of belief into Sunday, which is going to be a tough test, isn't it, at the Stadium of Light as we take on Sunderland, who are, you know, buoyed after coming up, got a couple of victories under their belt already, looking strong at home. They're going to be licking their lips at the prospect of Aston Villa coming up there on Sunday afternoon, because we're just not at it. I mean, obviously no goals in the Premier League as of yet. We've got to hope something clicks in time for Sunday, because we need points on the board fast. I mean, never mind your Europa League push or your Champions League push. Villa are rooted down there in the bottom three, and we need to get out of there. Because the longer the table looks like that, the more concern will grow. I mean, there's talk. You see a lot of talk, don't you, on X, and a lot of people saying it on the live last night. Emery out, Emery this, Emery the other. Like, to be honest, I don't think any genuine Villa fan is talking like that yet. I think there's a lot of blue noses sneaking into the debates, pretending they're Villa fans. But I don't think any genuine Villa fan will be talking about that. I'm only bringing it up because I have seen so many comments come up about it. But like I said, I don't think genuine or sensible Villa fans are saying that yet. He's been amazing for us. He's improved this club tenfold, and he's earned himself plenty of time, hasn't he? I can completely understand the concern. I understand the meltdown. I'm stressed out about it. It's draining me watching us play at the moment. So I'm not talking down anyone's lack of belief in the system or Unai Emery. I do understand it. It is a hard watch at the minute, but you just have to give him time to sort it. If we're still here after 15 games and we're still rooted in that bottom three, it's, you know, of course we have to look at things. Football moves quickly. It doesn't wait around for anyone, and it won't wait around for Unai Emery. And if changes do need to be made, I'm sure the club will do it. But that for me is a long way down the road. It's not something that's even entering my head. Unai Emery has given me things at Aston Villa I never thought I'd see. So that man has absolutely my full backing for as long as he's here. You do feel like fresh players were needed in the summer just to, because that same message coming across year after year. We don't see managers stay in jobs for long anymore, do we? So that same message coming home for the third, fourth season in a row, you can't help but feel like a little bit of an overhaul was needed in the summer, but obviously we know Villa couldn't do it unless they pretty much sold all the big names, which with hindsight some of you might have said we should have done. But yeah, we did need that freshness, but it's no excuse. Like I say, Brentford had turmoil over their summer, and they've still started off the season a lot stronger than we have and beat us twice. So it isn't an excuse, but like I say, Emery does have time on his side to put this right. We have the wild card of the Europa League. That's our trump card, isn't it? I mean, it feels like we're putting a lot of pressure on that competition already, aren't we? To go all the way. I mean, you've got to be honest. You can't see this side at the moment in its current form going all the way and lifting that Europa League, can you? You just can't. But like I say, things can improve very quickly, and we've got to hope Villa do. I mean, the games are going to start coming thick and fast, with Bologna coming up in the Europa League next week as well, next Thursday. So it's something to look forward to. It's a bit of an escape from the league as well. It's just that bit of excitement, a bit of a relief from the Premier League. Maybe Villa can be a different beast in the Europa League. And I mean, I feel a bit stupid saying it, guys. I gotta be honest. I mean, I was taking the mick out of Spurs all season last year and kind of still talking them down despite finishing 17th. But it looks a little bit like Villa aren't going to be having a flying season themselves. But if we can finish around that mid-table mark and lift the Europa League, that would be a great success. I think a lot of people would take the Spurs season and finish 17th and take the Europa League. I mean, the way this season started, I'd have to tend to agree with that. I wouldn't at the start of the season, but things have changed very quickly, and that is the golden ticket back into the Champions League, isn't it? So it's a lot of pressure on that Europa League campaign, especially with our league. Our league campaign looking like it's sliding away, all the ambitions for that sliding away week by week. But again, 4 games in, there's a lot of time to turn it around. There's 34 games to turn it around. Villa had a very rough spell. That's a point just before Christmas, didn't we, last season? I think we went up to like 10 games in all competitions with 1 win or something stupid. I'd have to look back at that. But we recovered the season incredibly well and went on an incredible run of form. So it can be done. And Villa do have the quality, if they get their act together, to get 3 points on Sunday and kickstart our season. I feel like every time I come on here, I keep saying it's going to kickstart our season, but it's not happening yet. But fingers crossed that does come on Sunday. Yes, last night was disappointing, but it's the Carabao Cup. At the end of the day, Villa don't put it in their list of priorities due to there being pretty much no financial benefits in there. Of course, we want to lift the trophy, me no different, but the club it's not in their list of priorities. We needed a win last night just to boost confidence, but we most likely would have got knocked out in the next round anyway. With the games coming thick and fast, Villa would have probably rested more players in the next round. So I'm not overly disappointed being out the cup. I'm just a bit I'm very concerned at Villa's form at the minute. So we'll wrap it up there, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, how do you feel about going up to the Stadium of Light Sunday afternoon? Have Villa got much chance of getting 3 points? What would you change there? Would you implement anything different to go and get a result there on Sunday? So, as always, guys, we'll end it with a big up the Villa.